Hey everyone, Stephen here from Marketplace Superheroes, and I'm here today with my new British friend, Mr. Mike Howley. Mike, how you doing, man? You well?
I'm great, thank you. Yeah, how are you doing?
Very well. I pronounced your name correctly across the board, right?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll go with
Beautiful.
Mike.
Yeah, I always get concerned, when people got different spellings. Everyone calls me Stefan wherever I go, so I get it. So anyway, we're here today to talk to Mike about his experience so far with building his Amazon business. Going to talk about his story, how we got started, why he got started, and then we'll get into just some simple advice that Mike is going to give you watching this video if this is something that you're looking to do with ourselves at Marketplace Superheroes, or you're just looking to get into building an Amazon business and you're somehow putting all the pieces together yourself. So Mike, I think it makes sense to start off with, why did you choose Amazon, building a business, selling products on Amazon? It's for some people, it's a random thing. I'm just interested to hear why, what was the lead up to that for you?
Well, for me, it was basically because, the kind of lifestyle that I wanted to lead. I love traveling and I love spending time with my loved ones, my girlfriend and whatnot, and family. And I've got some new babies in the family with my sister and my nieces and whatnot. So really, it was time for me, which is obviously, looking into passive income, as making money as much as possible, by not having to be in a certain place at a certain time. Really, before I started on this journey, I was working for the NHS in a really corporate environment. Had to be a certain place at a certain time, working for individuals that I didn't really resonate with. So all that together, basically, I just kicked off that journey for me, really.
Yeah, very cool. It's just a similar story to mine, obviously, which is interesting. It's probably why we bonded early on, maybe, who knows? Because, working in a corporate career, a lot of people who are watching this video are in that situation. And so you're in the job, you're working there. Was it a case of, like with me, were you like Googling around things you can do online, or what way did that how did you find Amazon, is my question?
Yeah, I didn't have a clue where to look. I literally got the computer one day and started Googling, YouTubing, and I actually came across a guy called Stefan, Project Life Master, I think it is. And on his videos, he mentioned Marketplace Superheroes. So I started looking into that, and he mentioned other options that were out there. So I started looking into the different options, and actually got in touch with Stefan first personally and just asked him, what he'd suggest. Told him that what I was looking for, and he basically just suggested you guys. So that's basically was my introduction. I had not a clue what, there were all these terms that you were talking about. I didn't even know you could sell on Amazon in that way. So, it was just a whole new world. So, and that's when I kind of started looking into Marketplace Superheroes, and I just purchased the course, basically.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah.
So you've been with us a little while now. So obviously, you've got your Amazon business up and running. You don't have to get into too many specifics if you're not comfortable, but even just to give people a sense of, a lot of people wonder, well, where can I be in a period of time? How many products are you selling, or even that kind of information, just very basic stuff, just so people know, okay, that's where I can be in that period of time. That's what Mike was able to do. If I apply myself, I can get there. Who knows? Maybe I can go beyond Mike, depending on how much money I start with. So a little bit of that would be great for people watching for some inspiration.
Yeah, no problem at all. So I basically bought the course, I think it was in August 2017. So it basically took me around 3 to 4 months from going from the first module to completing the module, getting my first product live, basically. About 4 months, I think it was. So I think it was around January 2018 when I got my first product.
Very cool. I think just on that point, Mike, actually as well, though, a lot of times people think, oh, that sounds like a long time. But I think as well, with a business like this, when you're learning a brand, like Mike was a complete beginner, remember, had no clue that any of this stuff, to go from, I don't know any of this, to launching a business inside 3 months is a phenomenal achievement, actually. And so great on that, Mike, because, most people get no business launched ever, no matter what course they take. So you've launched your business. I just wanted to kind of unpack that because I think it was an important point. But continue your story there, Mike. So you got your first product live 3 months, 4 months after you started. Yeah,
which is kind of like what I was expecting, to be honest. I didn't want to, be over optimistic on it. I want to be realistic. And, as you guys know, it takes time to build up a decent, long-lasting business.
Yep.
So I weren't looking, for a short-term fix or anything like that, which I think is important to note. So I got my first product live in January.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, so what I wanted to kind of keep it on a rolling basis with the product. I didn't just want to get one product going and just leave it for a while and see how that did. I wanted to keep it rolling. So I kind of got that first product up and running, but leading up to that, I was working on other products as well. So there was around 4 products that I was working on in total. One of them I got going quicker than others. One of them I might taken a while back because I was talking about the design a little bit longer. One might have taken a little bit longer because I would, discussing costs and whatnot, and just trying to get the, bits and bats right, all the finer details confirmed. So within another 2 or 3 months, I had another 3 products live. So by April, May-ish of 2018, I had 4 products live, basically.
Excellent.
A lot of lessons learned in those initial four products. And with me, I don't know whether it's just my personality or what, I like to kind of like jump in head first, really, and do learn by actually doing rather than reading, listening, writing and whatnot. So, there were a lot of lessons learned. I'd say 3 of the products that I got were winners, my class as winners, and one of them not so much, which is something that I'm looking at now, basically.
Yeah.
How I can improve that and what's gone wrong. Quickly, after those, January to April months, I sold out fairly quickly, really. I think I didn't want to get too little amount. I didn't want to get 50 to 100 units because I knew that wouldn't last very long and not get amount of data. And I didn't want to get too much because obviously I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. So I kind of like stuck to around the 3 to 500 units per product mark.
Yeah.
So I could split it up, and I went straight for the US and EU split. I didn't want to just go for one or the other. So I just wanted to test it all out at once, basically. So I was basically splitting it 50-50, 250, 2 to 250 to the US, 200 to 250 to the UK. Just to, like I said, test it all out at once, basically. Now, within, I'd say 2 to 3 months, I was sold out of pretty much everything. Now, I think it's important to say at this point is, I don't think with your trial order, I think it's very hard to guess when to order next.
Yeah,
and that's, I'm pretty sure everyone's come across that who's actually got products. You just don't know when to order again, basically. And if it takes off like a few of my products, did, it's like, wow, they've gone, now I need to reorder when I'm almost out of stock straight away. Yeah. So there were basically a period of about 3 months where I was out of stock again, basically. Now, obviously, that were a lesson learned, and I couldn't learn that lesson until I ordered them. So I think that was a great lesson that I learned there. And now, obviously, I think I'm on my 4th lot of ordering of the same products, and I'm getting to a point where I'm not out of stock ever now.
That's excellent.
Just getting used to it.
Yeah, because again, I think that's a big point. You just unpack that again. Like if you have that many products that are selling, you're selling hundreds and hundreds of them, and they're selling out quickly. For some people out there, their big fear when they're jumping into Amazon or selling on Amazon is like, oh, my thing's not going to sell. So it's a very normal reaction that things start to sell, and then you start to think, oh, should I reorder now? And always whenever you think that, it's too late to reorder. So obviously that's something we cover. Something Mike's getting better at doing now, but that's a very common thing because you can know when to reorder, but then it becomes that thing of, okay, well, they haven't all sold out yet, so now I have to order more, so I've got to find capital to order more because that's just how it's going to work for me, and that can trip up people, and that's just the nature of being a business owner. So these are great lessons for everybody watching, by the way, so make sure you listen up. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so, take it up to, I think it was around September last year of 2018. So I put some orders in this. I put some bigger orders in my second time of ordering. I think I didn't quite double up, but I think it was maybe, I don't know, 150% of my last kind of like order just to test it out again once more and just give myself a little bit more leeway in terms of when I needed to order again. So it kind of, when my units got back in stock, quite naively thought it just kind of like jumped straight off again and start selling like it was. And that wasn't the case. It kind of like took, it didn't take months and months, but it took a few weeks to get up and running again. Yeah, like I said, one of the products wasn't necessarily such a goer. It whether the other products, my other, 3 products sold within a few months, that were taking like 4 or 5 months to kind of like get through, a few hundred units, which is obviously not great. But I did start to tinker with, my campaigns. I started looking at price point, which are probably, naively looked at the pricing point a little bit too optimistically. So I had to bring the pricing point down a little bit more.
What you're saying there, though, I think is interesting, because you're saying like your product that didn't do as well, you're basically saying it's selling, but it's just not selling at the same rate as the other products, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Therefore, even if you want to look at it for everybody watching as well, just to break that down, even if you look at it from a bad perspective, if all Mike did was sell out of his quantity of stock of that product inside a year, you'd probably sell out in a year, Mike, would you? Do you think?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
So it's actually a good product, actually, but it's just, it doesn't seem like a good one. We made this mistake as well. It's a little bit of free coaching, but it's something we used to do. We used to say, hey, this is selling too slowly. Because we have capital tied up in different things, we would say, oh, well, we're not going to actually reorder that one because it's not selling as fast as the others. But that was actually a mistake we made, because, well, the thing was selling. So, okay, it wasn't making us it was making us the same return. It was doubling its money. It was just doubling it at a much slower rate. So therefore, what Mike should look to do, which we'll talk about another time, is Mike should look to get his products that are working for him well, get them funded somehow. There's many ways to do that. So they're funded by another source. So then that frees up capital for Mike to go and scale his business further then with new products. And then your bad product, because it's selling, because it's working, it's going to sell out in much faster than a year. Well, then I can just get that paid for as well, because the key thing here with everything is when you've got products that are working for you, you have built lots of different strands of income, like, because every product is technically a stream of income. So Mike's got like 4 or 5 streams of income now, which is positive. They're going to build with time. He's going to add to those, going to build with time. Then you got the more markets in Amazon. So you got like, the European markets, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, US. There are other ones, but they're the main ones we've talked about. But Mike is effectively able to scale multiple streams of income on multiple channels, which is really, really cool. And that's the power of what we're talking about. That's the power of our methodology, because we go global. So would you say, Mike, that the global thing has helped your product sell faster? What's your take on that?
Yeah, 100%. Without that, I mean, my numbers just wouldn't be as high as they were, as they are, basically. Now, just to give an example of that, so currently I've only got two products in stock again. Again, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to balance it all out at once. But just with those 2 products in the European market alone, I'm making around 10 sales a day. Yeah. So obviously, once that hits the US, those same products were making around the same. Without the US, I'm only making 10, but with the US, I'd be making double. So that's turning to 20 sales a day straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
So now those 10 sales a day with those 2 products, I'm probably getting around 2 sales a day-ish from the German market, the French market, the Italian market, the Spanish market. So although those 1 or 2 don't seem a lot, they actually make up your numbers quite a bit if you look at it on a monthly basis.
That's right. And that's why we talk about the rule of 5. This isn't a rule of 5 necessarily. It takes time. And again, the rule of 5 is an average, but what Mike's talking about is the exact principle. It's the multiple market. It's the multiplication then of your sales. So that's great, because, we've got Peter, another, case study I've recorded. Peter's been a lot more open with his numbers and stuff like that, because he's actually, works with us a little bit as well and whatever. That said, like Peter, his first product we just worked out, it's in the year, his first product, it's a $30,000 per year business, and that's revenue, of course. So it's about 10 grand a year profit. So obviously if you 10 of those items, there's 100 grand right there, and that was his first product. But not everybody, is going to have that huge, and that's not even a huge winner. Like in this Amazon market, that would be considered like, oh, it's not that big a deal, but it's a huge deal when you think about the fact that you're not just going to sell one product. We're utilizing a global market like Mike is talking about to build a business. And so, Mike, do you feel now going forward with everything you've done, you're selling out of your products consistently, you're learning along the way, you're going to find ways of financing your products and stuff like that so you can grow. You see this as something that's going to replace your income, is going to be your main source of income at some point in your career? Because I know you do other stuff as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this business allows me to do what I want in my end goal in life. I want to travel more. I want to, have more experiences. Experience for me is a, really high priority.
Yeah.
So 100%, I just want to keep stacking those products basically and just rinsing and repeating what I'm doing now. Because if what's working for me now, if I can do that 10 more times, and I've basically got 100 sales a day there. And if you're making between £4 and £5 per product, that is like big money, and I don't see why that can't happen if it's already 100%. Been done.
No, absolutely. And like if you look at that, then where you'll get to, 500 sales a day. Let's just say it's it's £5, so dollars, but $7 ish, depending on the currency rates. So if you're at £5, let's go on that. It's £2,500 a day. So that's what, 75,000 pounds a month profit. Remember, it's not revenue. So obviously that's great. Because you were talking about profit, right? When you're saying £4 or £5.
Yes, profit per item. Yeah.
I'm just confirming because I have no bias. I want to make sure we get all the numbers. So that's, at a £75,000 a month profit business, like that's a phenomenal, like that's nearly basically £1 million per year profit business. In dollars, well over that, 1.5 million a year.
And that'll do for me.
Absolutely. But when you consider that, Mike, actually just something while we're here, for everyone watching as well, and for you, like people don't maybe understand that, 3% of businesses in the US specifically, and the rest of the world's quite similar, 3% get to the $1 million revenue mark per year. So there's all these small businesses that are nowhere near that. So when you think about it, even, that's obviously, we're talking about profit when we're talking about $1.5 million. So that's revenue. That's probably in the $3-4 million range. But so, you don't have to get that big to completely replace your income and all that, as we know. But for you, Mike, you getting to a 7-figure business, you're in the top 3%. So you don't have to call your shot now exactly, but how long do you think it's going to take you to get your business to the 7-figure level? And I'm not going to hold you to it, but we'll try.
So I think, this time next year, that's kind of like where I want to be. Basically, I want to give myself another year. Because I've got, I think it's around 8 more products that are either in design, I'm in talks with, that are in production or either being shipped. So, once you get into those kind of figures, and I think the more and more I'm doing it, the more and more improving. Like I've got one product that I think is going to be absolute dynamite. Just from experience from other products, you just know what seems to work and what doesn't really. I've spotted one, and I think it's going to be, fantastic, just that one particular product. So, the more and more I go down and get experience, I just think within a year, I don't see why I can't do that.
Well, that's fantastic. And as well, Mike, there's lots of things you can do with those other products, which we'll talk about off camera, and we'll help you out with that as well. Because I love seeing these successes. This is why we do what we do at Marketplace Superheroes. This is why we build all the services we build to make sure people like Mike can build their businesses and have services. Like, that's one of the big things. A lot of people in these case studies talk about things like superhero freight and stuff like that. It just really levels the playing field, for everybody. And so, so that's great. Look, I really appreciate the whole case study. Great to see you having so much success and selling out consistently. I look forward to coming back in a year and seeing where you are. And, Mike also is one of our Origin clients. So he's one of our coaching clients as well. So, Mike, this is something we get to know each other better and better as well. So that's really it from me. Have you got any kind of final pieces of advice, Mike, for maybe people are on the fence about getting into this business, or maybe they're skeptical? There's been a lot of crap on the internet from different places. What would you say are some of the pieces you've learned about the business, or maybe some advice you might give people that are trying to figure it out?
Yeah. So my main key piece of advice is just kind of jump in and put your money where your mouth is, really. You can watch videos, you can listen to audios, you can read books, but I think I've proven to myself just through following Robert and Stephen's process that it can be done. It's only done and then happened for me by actually buying products. Just put your money where your mouth is, be willing to take a bit of a risk, and just ask questions only when you really need to ask questions, really. Everyone likes to, be handheld throughout a process. I ask questions throughout, but I tried asking as least as possible and just trying doing it on my own, and just really just getting that first product under your belt, because you'll learn so much more just getting that first product under your belt. And it's definitely doable.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to come on.
No problem.
And look, for everybody who comes into our community, you're going to see Mike is in there. He's a real person. This is a real conversation, not like these people who bring in these randomers to talk about case studies. So again, thanks a million, Mike. Look forward to working with you more in the future as well. And yeah, thanks a million, man.
Thanks very much. Speak soon.